Welcome to this training brought to you by the North San Diego County Realtors, where we bring real-world case interpretations published by the National Association of Realtors to life through practical learning moments that reinforce the Realtor Code of Ethics. Today's focus, honest treatment of all parties, from Case Interpretation 1-2 under Article 1 of the Code of Ethics. Article 1 reminds realtors that while their primary duty is to their client, that duty does not give them permission to be dishonest or misleading to others in the transaction.
As the exclusive agent of Client A, Realtor B offered Client A's house for sale, advertising it as being located near a public transportation stop. Prospect C, who explained that his daily schedule made it necessary for him to have a house near the public transportation stop, was shown Client A's property, liked it, and made a deposit. 2 days later, Realtor B read a notice that the transportation running near Client A's house was being discontinued. He informed Prospect C of this, and Prospect C responded that he was no longer interested in Client A's house, since the availability of public transportation was essential to him. Realtor B informed Client A and recommended that Prospect C's deposit be returned. Client A reluctantly complied with Realtor B's recommendation, but then complained to the Association of Realtors that Realtor B had not faithfully protected and promoted his interests, that after Prospect C had expressed his willingness to buy, Realtor B should not have made a disclosure that killed the sale, since the point actually was not of major importance. The new transportation route, he showed, would put a stop within 6 blocks of the property. In a hearing before a hearing panel of the Association's Professional Standards Committee, Realtor B explained that in advertising Client A's property, the fact that a transportation stop was less than a block from the property had been prominently featured. He also made the point that Prospect C, in consulting with him, had emphasized that Prospect C's physical disability necessitated a home near a transportation stop. Thus, in his judgment, the change in routing materially changed the characteristics of the property in the eye of the prospective buyer, and he felt under his obligation to give honest treatment to all parties in the transaction that he should inform Prospect C, and that in so doing, he was not violating his obligation to his client. The hearing panel concluded that Realtor B had not violated Article 1, but had acted properly under both the spirit and the letter of the Code of Ethics. The panel noted that the decision to refund Prospect C's deposit was made by the seller, Client A, even though the listing broker, Realtor B, had suggested that it was only fair due to the change in circumstances.
The balance of loyalty and honesty is at the core of a realtor's ethical responsibility. Realtor B listed Client A's home, promoting proximity to a public transportation stop. Prospect C, who needed reliable transportation due to a disability, saw the property and made a deposit. 2 days later, Realtor B learned that the nearby transportation stop would be discontinued. Realtor B informed Prospect C, who withdrew from the deal. Realtor B recommended that Client A return the deposit. Client A filed an ethics complaint, believing the disclosure killed the sale. Realtor B believed he was doing the right thing by disclosing important information to Prospect C. But the seller saw it differently, believing that disclosing the change in public transportation was unnecessary and that it cost him a sale. Realtor B testified that the transportation stop had been a key selling point in the listing. Prospect C had clearly stated that proximity to transportation was essential. Realtor B believed the change was material and could not in good conscience withhold it. The seller, Client A, felt the realtor should have prioritized closing the sale, especially since a new stop would still be within 6 blocks. The hearing panel had to weigh whether Realtor B's decision to disclose this change went against the duty to promote the client's interest, or whether it fulfilled the broader duty to treat all parties honestly and fairly. The panel ruled in favor of Realtor B. Why? Because his honesty upheld the ethical obligation to treat all parties honestly, even when it might conflict with a short-term outcome for the client. The panel also acknowledged that the decision to return the deposit ultimately rested with the seller, not the realtor. Your duty to the client is primary but not exclusive. Honesty with all parties protects the integrity of the transaction and your reputation. Material facts that could affect a buyer's decision must be disclosed even after a deposit is made. Ethical decisions aren't always easy, but the Code of Ethics offers a clear path. This case offers an important reminder. Ethics isn't just about loyalty, it's also about transparency. Upholding the code of ethics means you sometimes have to make difficult calls in the interest of honesty and fairness. Imagine you're in Realtor B's position. Would you have told the buyer about the transportation change? What if it cost your seller the deal? These are the kinds of scenarios realtors face every day, and this case reminds us that when in doubt, lead with transparency. Thanks for joining us for this short case interpretation review. Stay sharp, stay ethical, and remember, honesty is never optional. Whether you're protecting your client or informing the other party, your integrity defines your professionalism as a realtor. For more real-world training resources, visit www.youtube.com/@NSDC Realtors.